Hey guys, so we are doing a little different of an update than I was planning on. It's been more phone calls and computer work and getting ready, me personally, for up and coming jobs and just paperwork and finding parts, waiting for parts than I want to admit. I feel like I've been working on this thing non-stop, but want to really break down the hours of actually wrenching compared to the never-ending phone calls and searching for parts. Yeah, so pretty much I'm gonna break this video down, and it's not really the update I wanted to give. Following from this will actually be wrenching and showing you guys what to do and all that, and I'll do a full walk around of what I've done to the chipper so far. But every single video I've recorded, it's so mix match, and it's not even worth putting together in my opinion. Maybe I'll add some stuff to the end of this. If you guys are willing to watch, you can watch at the end. But yeah, the video is just gonna be me talking and walking around with the progress we've got done. And then the next videos is actually the entertaining stuff. So we'll start with problem one. So problem one was that gear drive that I added to the side of the Deutz motor. I still don't know how to say it properly. This is it, okay? There's a housing, all right? And the housing's on it because it has to be on there so I don't leak oil everywhere. Because the original bracket, when I took it off, I cut that in half to use a part of it to make the alternator bracket. So took the gears out of it so it's not spinning in there. But this spline right here is called a 17 by 14, and it's in millimeters. When I bought this housing, and 90% of them, 98% of these housings apparently come in a 9 spline by 5/8. Was a very common US style. The problem I ran into is somehow I got the one housing with this random spline. I could not find another housing unless I want to wait like 2 months. No one makes a pump really for this. And I spent probably a solid week looking for a pump. Ordered a couple that came in that would not work for this, even though they said this is the right spline. And could not get one. I can get one that meets my PSI, but not the gallons per minute. Or I can get one that meets the gallons per minute, but not the PSI. Really what I want on this machine is 20 gallons per minute and 3,000 PSI. So that was problem number one, okay? So yeah, so then I just had to decide what I'm gonna do. Then I wasted, this is kind of rare, a whole 2 days. I was like, screw it, I'll just take the excavator hydraulic pump, I'll get a pulley that goes on this, and I'll do it like how Bandit does, where they run a belt. They have a couple different styles, but one of the styles is a belt off the front of the motor to the pump on the side of the housing, or the body, and just adjustment with a belt, like a twin belt style. I was like, okay, well, I'll just use the excavator hydraulic pump. I have it, I know it'll meet all the specs and then some. I could not find a pulley that would meet that spline shaft because that's in metric also. So I wasted another 2 days dealing with that. Finally, I said, screw it, I'm gonna order a pump that meets my specs, and I'll just make sure I can order the pulley with it. And I did it, should have done it. I wasted embarrassing probably 8 days of, all right, I'm not saying I was on the phone for a whole 8 hours, but within the day, I probably spent 4 to 5 hours thinking about it, trying to figure it out. Yeah, it was a joke. Okay, so there's problem one. Another problem I had, order parts, won't show up till a week after the arrival time. So, but what I'm telling you guys is this is just how projects go. You know, this is not just like tossing a motor in an old Chevy pickup. There's a lot of little knick-knack stuff, and personally, I think I'm the only one that's done this, besides like one other guy, to this extent. I mean, manufacturers do it, but they got engineers and they spend years and studying and figuring it out to put that product out online. I'm just some Joe Schmo in a 30 by 50 shop doing this, and so far I'm really happy how it's coming out, but I have spent a lot more time than I want to admit. So, but here it is so far, and I'll kind of walk you guys around what I've done, and it's getting close. I'm really excited to freaking paint this thing, even though I hate painting, but I'm really sick and tired of the 50 shades of gray going on. So we'll start from the front and we'll work back. Okay, and what I've done, and then at the end of this, I'll add some videos of building some of the stuff. But like I said, this is just an update because I need to get you guys an update. And the next video will be the most fun one, I think, so far, is I have all the wireless remote control system to power this. Hopefully today is Saturday. Hopefully the hydraulic lines that I just ordered 100 feet of hydraulic lines, because it's like $1.50 offline compared to like $8 a foot, and I need a lot of hydraulic lines on this thing. So hopefully all those will be here so I can finish this. But okay, we will start on the front. So this is fully done. All the adjustment rails for pulling it back and forth, okay? I had to build solid engine mounts for this thing. You can see go off that, because the poly ones, or the rubber, and I've learned out the hard way here, is when I put tension on this belt, they would adjust just a hair where it would hit the pulley out of alignment. Okay, so, you know, there's a day worth of fabrication figuring that out. Okay, so all these are done. All the motor mounts are done. You can see there's a bolt down there. I ran the fuel lines. I still need to put the little rubber hose clamps that mount, clean this up. This is the hydraulic pump that we're going with, and I have to finish this, but there'll be 2 bolts coming through here to slide this back and forth. Okay, the pulley's just sitting on here, and these are not the bolts I'm using, but you get the thing. And what it is, it's going to sit right here. It cradles, and then I got to get this bolt out, but I need a torque multiplier to get that thing out. I put a 6-foot bar on this, and I cannot get that bolt loose. So working on that. But that motor will be right here to the belt, and you can adjust it back and forth because it's on a slide system. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So the battery box I decided to leave there. The only downfall is to get the battery out, you have to remove the belt cover. Okay, but you still can jump start it. So that's all that matters. On the bracing, I went down, it's 2x2 down to the front main frame on that. So there's some bracing. It has a D-ring up front. You got your main brace plates here, across, yada yada. This is where I located the def tank. You can see my welds. Judge as much as you want. So this bracket, yeah, this is where I like the def tank. Nothing can fall on it. So I ordered Auto Feed Plus. Another thing I was waiting on. Super nice guy, the Ken, the guy that sells, I think his name's Ken. Very knowledgeable. But yeah, so this is Auto Feed Plus. And what Auto Feed is it comes with this valve block, and I put this up there, and I'll show you guys in a second. But what it does is when the chipper is feeding the wood and the RPMs of the motor drop just a hair down, like you can adjust it however you want, but let's say it drops 400 RPMs, it will turn this back so it pulls the wood a little bit away, and it lets RPMs fit. So it's a reverse auto feed, where the factory auto feed just stops it, but then the drum still can technically grab stuff and pull it in. So it pulls it back where this thing actually speed up faster. So, like I said, you guys will see all that in action once this thing's done. I mounted this oil cooler here, or the hydraulic cooler. So the return will come up, down, and around, yada, yada. These are the yoke locks. I put them over here because they're in the way on the other side. Still finishing this, but there's the winch. It'll come here. I made it flush. Normally they stick farther out, but when I'm loading this with a machine, I don't want this sticking out. So the downfall with that is when the piece of wood gets closer, it won't lift it like as high right here. But normally if you're pulling that something, once you get over there, it's becoming more vertical. So it should be able, maybe with a little help, get up. Worst case scenario is I can always add like a receiver style there and pull it forwards where it goes through like another pulley to yank it up. But this way it's out of my way when I'm feeding it. Old V-Belt and son, he bought a Bandit track chipper, and I was watching one of his videos and he was complaining about that being in the way. So that's why I want that style. Yep, all the push bar and everything's still golden on it, still fully works because I have to have all the safety stuff, and you know, I would never want to ever think of someone ever getting sucked in there. So it has all the safety working, and I'm going to add some other safety stuff. What else are we going here? Okay, so the winch, yada yada. I got to delete the light still. But what I've been working on, ow. Jeez, the shop is a disaster right now. Okay, so this is what I've been working on. Get the ground clamp out of the way. Okay, so these are the drive hydraulic lines, and I'm still not done running these. And there's 6 more lines that need to go down there for the blade and returns. Okay, so these are your main drives. So this is actually the valve bank out of the excavator, and I just deleted tons of the pumps or the valve banks. And then I built this mechanism here, okay? And then my actuator, my remote control actuator rods will go to these. And this keeps it, I didn't want to go direct to this because it's a lot more harder on the actuators, where these are almost like a lever, okay? And then pretty much this is the factory valve block, and the reason why I'm leaving it is because there's an open center for the yoke and stuff like that, or you want to keep it. So pretty much what it's going to do, the hydraulics going to come through here, it's going to go into here, will be upgraded to a bigger fitting. They reduced this a lot, and then it'll go through to the power beyond, and the power beyond is this. And what it does, it just makes it where fluid can't go down to the return here. The return will just be for the functions, any release and pressure, and the feed rollers will go here, and then it'll go return. But it'll come up, come down into here, then it'll be returned off that. That will tee into this to go to the cooler. So yeah, and then the next video you guys will see how I'm setting up all that, and I'll actually record doing that. Like I said, this has just been a lot of knick-knack stuff that's just taking up time. So, but yeah, you can see this. So, yeah. So, go down there. Everything will be added to the factory lines that come out of this excavator housing. I located the spring better so it matches the other side because the main bracket was touching this. You can see the winch up there. I had to expand this belt housing, so that's extended. What else? Yeah, just a bunch of whole little stuff. Oh, I added a motor to the chute that will rotate it 360 degrees. So I'll hydraulic lines it from here down to one of these functions. So I have plenty enough functions to add all this stuff. Then I'm not sitting here with a hand crank, and it'll be remote control operated too. So when I'm in the machine, I can spin the chute where I want. I was trying to figure out how to get a setup up there where I could feed that down, but the problem is, and then the chute can't do 360 degrees. You'll be limited because it would bind whatever hose. And that's how a lot of them are, but I like the 360 degrees because there's sometimes you get in a spot, you can't spin it this way, okay? You want to spin it all the way back that way, say a tree's in the way. So in my opinion, it's not worth be limited, so I'm just going to do that manually, and normally it's just going to be wide open. So what else? So it's getting there, guys. Like I said, I have not, I don't know if I said it. I got super sick too. It's just, nothing's working out. But we also have some really cool projects coming. I picked up 2 mulcher heads, a Pt7 sweeper for dirt cheap. These things are dirt cheap. I'm stripping them down right now because I'm going to get them sandblasted and mount the skid steer mounts back on them. These were off a dedicated machine, but they're originally made for a skid steer. So future video. But yeah. Oh, and then I finally got the whole excavator stripped down. It's not there anymore. All the pieces, I'm starting to sell pieces, so that's good. And the rest is in the dump trailer ready for scrap metal. So, and then sadly, the green dump truck, I think that thing's might be getting torn apart for parts. So, but yeah, it is coming along. I appreciate all of your guys' positive comments. It's been a fun project, and I hope my videos, if someone wants to do this, it helps them, figure out what my mistakes were to make it where it goes quicker. One thing I will say, if you're going to do this and you have a chipper that already has a motor on it, you're saving yourself days worth of work. I have spent a lot more hours than I thought swapping a motor, just because of all the little issues, expanding the belts, clutch, relocating def tanks, just all that stuff. It just adds so much time. So, but I'll add some videos at the end of this where you guys can watch me building some of this stuff if you want to watch it. If not, see you in the next one.
Well, I didn't expect that, to say the least. I went to adjust this and I saw a hairline crack. Well, that's not good. More parts. Something like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. So, I'm going to turn off the welder so you can see. So, what we're going to do, I will be drilling a hole through here, and it'll have a bolt that goes through here. And that's how you slide it back and forth, okay? This will have some reinforcement. Then the main frame will get fully welded into this once I get this thing perfectly aligned. That makes sense. I might need to adjust this a hair. I'm noticing right now, even though it's straight with this, but this main part might not be. And that's why I'm not welding this main structural into there till I get that pulley up set with this pulley straight, because I can adjust this main, but the slide I'm not going to be able to adjust that much, just up forwards and backwards. So this is how I would build one of these in my case. Everyone's each their own. Of course I'll bevel these edges a little bit, but yeah, so that's why I'm building this way, because I don't know how I'm gonna build this body panel. The body panel's gonna have like a bump out somehow. So I gotta figure out exactly what I'm doing here. But what I wanna make sure is this hydraulic pump will fit. Like so. Yep, that's what I thought. Doesn't fit. Because it needs to slide this way just a hair. Like that. And then bing. Bada boom. Alright. So yes, these fuel filters might need to get slide back a hair. What's not the end of the world, honestly. There's plenty of line. Really just take these two and take these two, move it back, and then drill 2 new holes and put it back together, and I'll never notice. So yeah. And the pulley will go on the front. This can slide around. Should work perfectly. Hopefully. So. I'm thinking shaboom, bracing. Maybe I'll come in, do a little notch at the top of these. That should work. I have ports on the back here too on this pump. I'm trying to figure out how I want. What's nice about this is I can run it, then technically just go underneath. Same with that one. But yeah, gotta figure out what the exact perfect way is. Not a huge fan of this big ass ugly bracket, but I think I can make it look beautiful. I can do some corner bracing. I don't know. I can make it where it doesn't look so odd ducky. The reason why I'm going to this is very structural. When it's welded into here, it's all quarter. It's not going anywhere. Yes, there's pressure on that pump, but it's just friction. It's like an alternator, really. So, and hopefully 2 belts is plenty. And if anyone's wondering why I'm not just running out the same serpentine, because the serpentine tension most likely would lose, and I would be belt squealing like crazy. So, yeah, that's the other issue. So, always something. Anyone that is even hesitating about not buying one of these, that magnet is freaking on there. I don't know if you can see, I'm flexing that chute. That is a hell of a magnet. Okay, so here what we did. Mind the funky hardware. I need to go actually get the right hardware, but today is Labor Day, so no one's open. Got adjustment here. I just welded that washer there, so it won't spin. And yep, took a link out of the chain, tighten it up. You can see the adjustments you can do here, and then the cover. So
the bracket I cut out fits right in this groove, so it sucks up. So it'll actually keep the motor nice and tight. But not too shabby. A little paint, you've never noticed. So on to the next.